Welcome back to Workshop Wednesday. Today, obviously, we are going to be doing some maintenance on the Kubota BX2380. She is a 2018. She's almost 5 years old, and she has 600 hours on her. So I change the oil every 100 hours. I know that's more than what the schedule says I should, but hey, I do it. Every 100 hours I change the oil. Also, I had at 500 hours, I had a full maintenance done at the dealer where they changed the transmission fluid, changed the transmission filters, and took care of all that for me. So right now I need the oil change, but I also have a small issue that I need to check on, and it either is going to be major or it's going to be minor. Hopefully it's minor. So let's get started and we'll see what's happening. The issue I am having has to do with the front axle. It, for lack of better terms, feels like it's grinding. And I'm hoping it's just low transmission fluid. Get the dipstick out, wipe it off. And let's check it. Should be able to see pretty clearly there. There's a tiny little bit on the end of the dipstick, but it's a very tiny little bit. Let's look inside. Hope you guys can see as well as I can. I'm gonna shine down in there. That fluid is low. It is barely up on the axle. I always keep a gallon of this UDT2 on hand, because you never know when you might need it for the transmission or for apparently the axle. So we're just gonna get a funnel in there. There, that's it. Oh, I should have put this pan under it ahead of time. So that looks like it's about up to where it should be, and I shouldn't have to wait because there was already oil in there, so that oil has worked its way down. That's up where it should be. That is good. All right, that should be an easy fix. Now let's change the oil. Next drain plug, I believe it's 14 millimeter. Yes, it is. Ow, that hurt. Should have rubber gloves on. I usually have rubber gloves when I do this. And I usually drop the screw or the bolt too, so. Got you on the edge of your seat. Oh my goodness, is he gonna do it? There we go. Another drain. Always helps to warm up the engine a little bit before you do this. Get the oil going out of there. Next, we'll take the oil filter off. There's a trick to opening the hoods on these things. This little thing is the weirdest lever for opening a hood. But if you just put your hand here and push down and then pull it, it's just simple. So try and pull on it like that, nothing. Push down, comes right over. There you go. Got a nice long extension, and I've got one of these things for loosening. The universal just goes in and out, expands, and holds on to the filter. And apparently it doesn't work. It's supposed to hold the filter. There it goes. All right. That's nice. Come back here. Oh, where's that going? I got oil going everywhere. Oh, I love it. This is usually why I just have somebody else do it, because I always end up with messes. Oil's dripping down the side here, all over my clean floor. So also another reason I usually have other people do stuff like this is, true story, I was changing the oil the first time on this, and I used one of those rubber band wrenches to take the filter off, and I bumped, right next to it is the starter. And I bumped a wire and knocked a wire just loose enough I couldn't start it. $60 service call later, and the guy pushed the wire back in. Oh well. Should have just paid the 60 bucks up front and had them do it. Got the new filter, ready to go. Now, I don't know if you guys like to do this, but I always write the date and the hours on there just because I like to know, well, I'm gonna forget, you know, so there's a very easy way to know when the last time I changed the oil. Put a little bit of oil on the ring. I don't know why. I've just seen other guys do it, so I figure they know more than I do. And very carefully screw that back on there. And these do not have to be like gorilla tight. Just good and tight. I think that's good. That thing is still dripping. Well, I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna go ahead and put this back in. Couple of ugga duggas. That's definitely tight enough. New oil goes in right here where it says oil. Make sure you wipe that off good and clean. Make sure there's not any dirt that's going to fall down in there. Oh, look at the dirt. Maybe I can wipe that away without knocking it down in the engine. There we go. None of that went in. That's good. Very good. And now, of course, we're going to fill her with new oil. That's right about where I like to see it. Just below that little hole in the dipstick. Last thing I'm going to check, since I got everything out and I'm in the garage, got the heater going and everything, I'm going to check the transmission fluid here. Huh. Just barely touching the stick. Yeah, I think I need some. I definitely feel like I need some transmission fluid. So we're probably just going to dump the rest of that in here, because this holds 3 gallons. Is that right? Yeah, no, yes, 3 gallons. So what's left in that gallon is probably gonna do it. Much, much better. Oh yeah. That's up on the stick. Last thing I'm gonna do is put in a new air filter. Ain't it a beauty? The mice got to the box, but they didn't touch the filter. So, hey, rather be lucky than good. So I just took this thing out and shook it off and blew it out a bunch. So it's gonna look pretty clean, but it's time to clean. Oh, that's, it doesn't look that clean. Look, that's dirty. Dirty, dirty. That needs to be changed. Brand new and pretty. That's right. I'll get some of that dirt out of there. Nice and tight. All right, so that's it. She's all done. I already put the Under Armour back on and cleaned all my tools up and cleaned up around her. I don't like doing this. You know, a lot of guys like doing the maintenance on their tractors. I got a good dealership and they do a good job. So any of the really hard stuff like changing fuel filters, doing that whole transmission change out with the, I take it to the dealer. I'd rather spend the money. It's way, you know, the mess and everything. Changing oil, it's not fun. The oil got on the floor. I'm never good at that type of stuff. And I suppose that's just the way it is. You just deal with the way things are if you're gonna take care of things. But it's certainly less expensive to do it yourself. And I gotta admit, it is kind of gratifying to know I just took care of this girl and she's gonna run just fine when I need to do more work. So I hope you have a very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and you know what? Next week, we're going to be doing a year in review. We're going to recap pretty much everything that I've done this year, including the move, and it'll be good for the new subscribers to see where we've come from and where we are right now, know how we got here. So anyway, I appreciate you tuning in, and we'll see you on Saturday when I'm doing more stuff.